You're now listening to DurianAsean, the voice of discovery and sharing.
Welcome to episode 3 of Inspired right here at DurianAsean with me, Jun Sern. And as usual, joining me here is Vanda Chen.
Hi, Jun Sern.
And also we have Catherine Chen.
Hi, JunSern. Hi, Vanda.
For those of you who is following us for the first time today, Inspired is a show where we share tips and strategies in the area of social media marketing, digital marketing, as well as talent development. And if you do have any questions you want to ask us, you can always drop us a comment on our Facebook page, and we will try to answer your questions in the next show. Well, today we have two very interesting topics. I wonder, what will you be sharing with us today?
Today I'm going to share about online learning platform. Why am I sharing this is because every time people asking me, Vanda, how you get to know so many things? It's like where you acquire your knowledge in digital marketing. So one of it is actually I do a lot of online learning. So I want to share with all of you, right, how you can improve yourself by go to online learning platforms.
Okay, and on the second half of the show, we have Catherine sharing on.
Yeah, I will share how to build a good structure for a presentation.
So last week we actually learned about the myth and the misconception of what I call presentation. So to this week we're going to be learning about the structure. Okay, so let's start off with Vanda. I mean, you're talking about e-learning. Okay, so what do you have for us today?
Okay, e-learning is a kind of old technology, I would say, right? I heard about e-learnings like many years back when I still was with Nestle. So the company always encourages us to go for e-learning. And every time when we heard about e-learnings, we kind of like, oh my God, the company is forcing me to face the computer and, to learn. Then I feel very monotonous, very boring because nobody speaks to me. So those days we are kind of like being forced to go to e-learning that the HR want us to do. So they will track our progress, and then we'll see like, oh, okay, I need to finish this. And sometimes we just simply like, because nobody is tracking you, right? Because it's in front of computers, and we just go through very fast, and we thought we already finished our learnings. But as an technology move, we need to understand like you can't be attending class all the time, and a lot of learnings we can get from online, and it's a very powerful. And nowadays there are many online platform coming up, and I really rely on quite a few online learning platform, which I think is very useful and can benefit. More or less like I will introduce a few that I use later on, but I would say that I want to explain like why I think online learning is good. First, I find that online learning is very much cheaper. Okay, let's say you want to learn about Facebook marketing. Do you know that Facebook itself actually providing you a very good online learning? It's called Facebook Blueprint. Okay?
Facebook Blueprint?
Yes, there is something like a course online. You just go Google Facebook Blueprint. You can get directly all the courses in video, and you learn, and then after each learning you get to do some exercises. So from there, I think you learn Facebook directly from Facebook, all right?
It's better to learn straight from the source itself, right?
Yeah.
Rather than asking someone else to teach you.
and besides this, Google has very good Google Academy as well. For example, you want to learn about Google Analytics, then you go to Google Analytics Academy, and it's very good. You have video, they teach you from the beginner's level and show you demonstration, and you get to hands-on as well. And like they will give you like walkthrough and ask you to click here and there, and then.
So all this is conducted in English, is it?
Yes, the one I went is in English, but I think they do have other languages, so you have to find out. But I find that all these are free. Okay, you want to learn Google, you want to learn Google AdWords, Google Analytics, you learn from Google, right? And then you want to learn from Facebook, then you learn from Facebook. But sometimes people might say that, probably some, you follow those companies, they are very structured. Sometimes people like the different way of teaching. That's why they attend classes. Different trainers will give you a different feel, or they have their own experience, their own learning style. And that you can also learn by online, because there's online a lot of gurus. They actually create their own courses there, and I find that it's cheaper, because let's say you join online, you join a normal class, you might need to pay in 1,000 ringgits. But let's say you need to learn a course on Udemy, for example, a digital course, it can cost you only $10. $10 to get like maybe 10 hours of learning from a famous guru in US, right? So, and these people is sharing their tips and tricks, and you just need to purchase $10 and you can listen again and again, okay? Because it's
also is it placed on the website, or you can download it actually?
For Udemy, you cannot download, but once you purchase the course, it will be like forever belong to you. It's a lifetime. So you can pause anytime you like. You can come back and learn again. And after you learn one time, it's not enough. Maybe you want to learn many times. You can, it's up to your own pace. So it's more effective than classroom learning, which I find, right? Yeah. And beside that, of course, you can also write to the trainers on online. They allow you to communicate with them to also support you.
But from your experience, are they very responsive, or do you have to wait a certain period of time before they actually reply?
After I've been learning online for actively for a few years, I think about 3 years, and I found many instructors there. They are very responsive. Some, they will create a course there, and they are those people who really got a passion in their topics. So when you write to them, and they really will reply you, because if they don't reply, they will get condemned by others.
The reputation will be damaged also.
So they want to look good as well. And when we select the course, also we want to see also the course with a good review. We also check the review. And then there is not only Udemy, because for me, I used to go Udemy and also Skillshare. But there are many others platform. Other platform, like, they are very niche. Let's say if you want to learn about design, and then you go to maybe or let's say you want to learn about this web development, right? You want to know what is this HTML or this thing. There is site called Skill Crush, I think.
Skill Crush.
Yes. So the Skill Crush is more for offer you how to get into web development, web design, learn about UI. From a beginner, you don't know anything, you can just go Skill Crush. They offer you 10 days free boot camp. So the free boot camp allow you to pick up the beginner skill, and it's very, very good. Anyone can do that. And there are also places like HTML.doc, also to learn about HTML. So those, I say, is a very specific to a niche, for web design, for web development. And there are also categories for learning programming. So for programming, we know there are one very famous one is called Code Academy. So many programmers, they want to learn, and they want to also discuss, because normally they'll have community. Correct. So they will go to Code Academy. So you can Google, there are many, to learn data science. I think you are in data science, right, JunSern? You are in big data, I remember.
Sort of. I would say that on the surface. I work for a company that is doing data science and data analytics. Yeah. But the thing is, it's very interesting, because I remember you shared with me before this that all these sites, and last time my only way of learning is actually a bit more primitive. I go to YouTube.
Oh, you go to YouTube.
Then sometimes I will hear, because it's made by users, and then sometimes the topic is good, but the way they present it is very boring.
Okay.
It's like, all right, now we are going to click this. Oh no, sorry. Then you can hear them breathe. Then you go, then you'll be sitting there. What's going on?
I got that. I do learn from YouTube as well. But most of the time I learn from YouTube is learn how to cook. Okay. Whenever I want to cook something, I have no idea. I just go how to cook a chicken dish. You have a lot on YouTube, or maybe you have certain dish you want to need somebody to show you how to cook. You just go to YouTube. One thing for the difference than online learning. Let's say you want to learn about big data. You can't really rely on YouTube because you're not sure which is right, which is wrong. The authority is not there. There's no a body to to really give the accreditation. Whether this person say it's true or not. Maybe it's a fake data.
The source may be not from a reliable source, and like you say, you need to be someone from the industry itself, from a credible industry, and you can't just be learning it off the cuff like that. And sometimes it may not be right.
Yeah, it may not be right. Maybe it's just someone's idea. I just want to do some YouTube videos. But for big data, I think there's one platform called Big Data University, which you can find out about how big data works. So these are part of the niche learning platform. And for art and music, they have different online learning. And then also for general, there's a lot. For children, there's a lot as well. And for me, I'm like hooked to Udemy and also Skillshare sometimes. And they are also what I learned from my son. Khan Academy is very, very good for academic. My son is in year 7, 13 years old. So he told me by looking at Khan Academy mathematics courses will make him improve a lot in his maths. So Khan Academy actually show a right way. So if you can't afford a tuition teacher or you do not want to go out to look for a tuition, you can actually use your own initiative and go to Khan Academy, and everything is free there. Yeah.
How times have come, I mean, back then, when there's no internet and all these things. Because I remember last time, there weren't so many of these sites. I remember there's only 1 or 2 sites that offer this kind of online learning, and now that there's so many of them. And I remember now recently there's a new one on I remember I see it on Facebook quite often. It's called Masterclass. So they actually get those really famous people to teach about their field of expertise. Like, for example, do you know the actor Steve Martin? The one that acted in Pink Panther?
Yes.
The Inspector Clouseau. So the thing is, he came out with a short course called How to Be a Good Comedian.
Okay.
I clicked on it. It's not that cheap. But it is quite interesting. And then if not mistaken, they have Gordon Ramsay also to how to start off as a cook. They have a lot of famous people teaching the art of their expertise.
Right. So this is called Masterclass.
Yeah, if not mistaken, it's called Masterclass.
I think I came across something, but I didn't click into it.
Yeah, they've been investing a lot in Facebook marketing. So every time you click,
must be a more expert platform that you learn from the real
from the practitioner themselves.
People,
Yeah. So it's interesting. I mean, it's like there's so many of this kind of thing. These kind of courses springing up, and it is actually only just beneficial for us as a consumer. It's only beneficial for us compared to back then. It's like you have to go to the library. Then if you want to ask an expert to teach you, you have to go there. Like some of the old kung fu movie, they will bring fruits. The master, please, then I'll wait there for a few days. Now it's just a click away. Just have to pay $10. Then you can learn from the master themselves already.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't find sometimes it's not $10. Some is very, very expensive. I'm not sure about the master class that you mentioned.
I think that one is, I would say, around 3 digit.
Wow. In US dollar, right?
I need to go and check first. Okay,
sure.
let me verify that first.
I'm going to be share tips on how you can get free course as well. Yeah.
All right, we're going to be taking a short break, and when we come back, Wanda will share with us more on tips on what kind of course to take. We'll be right back.
You're now listening to DurianAsean, the voice of discovery and sharing.
Welcome back to Inspired. And right before the break, Vanda actually shared with us on the few interesting online learning courses. And now she's going to share with us a little bit on tips. But before that, Catherine, have you taken any online courses before this?
Yes, I signed up some online courses. They are audio classes. I like audio classes compared to video classes. The reason is because I seldom have time to sit down in front of computer and to spend like 1 hour, 2 hours. But I can listen to a course when I'm doing my housework, when I'm like doing other things. So I think it's more cost effective for my time spending.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what you call that? I remember I heard people say there are few type of people, like you are visual and you are the one that listen. One is called what?
Yeah.
Auditory or something.
Yeah, auditory. Yeah. Maybe Catherine is more auditory.
Like for me, sometimes when I do my work, I need to have some sound at the back. So I just leave my TV on. Then my wife will say, "Are you watching this?" I said, "No, you can change my work. I just want some sound so I can do my work." Too quiet, I just like...
Too quiet.
My brain also will
be dreaming, right?
Yeah.
shut off and then I just go on. So what are the tips? Just now you were saying?
Oh, the tips is when you see a course that very expensive, let's say, this is only applicable on Udemy. You can see a lot of courses there. Its cost at norm is about $200. Let's say you want to learn Facebook marketing, is mostly cost about $195 or $200 and above. I think the most expensive they have is 200. But you want to get it at 10, right? So you wait for in a year, right? Or almost like every 1 or 2 months they will run the offer. They will have all sort of offer. Halloween coming, maybe they have Halloween sales. Christmas sale. They have independent sales. They have all sort of sale. When the sale coming, everything will drop to $10. So you wait. 200, definitely it become $10. So you wait until you $10, you quickly buy that and collect that cost. Then it will be yours forever. With that,
I think yesterday they were having that offer.
I think currently they have the offer. Yeah, I saw it's $10. But I find that it's some very strange thing because I have a Udemy account and my son has a Udemy account as well. Sometimes the offer happen on his account, not my account. Sometimes the offer happen on my account and not his account. And sometimes we have a kind of different rate. Sometimes I need to pay $12 and then his one is $10. So I suggest that, let's say in a family, you have maybe open up two different accounts at different time. You don't open at the same time. Maybe one you open after you use maybe 1 or 2 few months. Then you go open another account. And it's better that a different age group. Maybe my son is a teenager. So maybe he has a different discount. I'm not sure.
So do you have to put in your age and all those things also?
Yes, you put in your particular there.
But some of them, you have to sign in using Facebook, or you just sign in using just your email?
You can. They allow you to use either Facebook login, or you can use Google, use your email to log in. And mostly you need, I think you need a credit card to buy the course there. But $10 to buy courses like $200 I think it's very worthwhile. And they have a lot of free courses. So you just need to go there and then you look for one category. Let's say you select digital marketing. Okay, when you select digital marketing, they will come out a filter. Then you just filter off free courses. Then you get all the free courses there. Because bear in mind, there are many nice instructors or trainers out there. When they first launch a course, and when the course like nobody tried before, they need a lot of feedback. They need a lot of review. So they will offer the course as free first. So
to study the market also at the same time.
They want to get the feedback as well. It's like you are the beta tester. You see how, and then you get to collect. You get to try out the new courses. Then you can collect all the free courses there. I can say there's a lot of free courses out there, right? For me personally, I have collected on because once you embark on a course, the course will be under your account. So it will say that how many courses that you have already. My account, I already have like more than 5,700 courses.
Wow.
5,000.
How
many years of the collection?
How many years?
You collect only, or are you actually finish 5,000 courses?
I think if I spend the whole lifetime, I'm not able to complete all the courses.
But you purchased 5,000 courses, right?
I think, I purchased, but out of 5,700 over, I purchased maybe about 10%.
Oh,
Wow, 19% is free courses.
Yes,
Wow.
90% is free courses. One way is to go and look for free courses on Udemy.
You must
And I
teach me
have
like
many
this,
ways to
bargain
look for free
hunter.
courses, which I will share. No worries. I'll share how I can collect so many courses. And normally what I do is I just collect. First, maybe I have no time to go through yet. But once you collected, right, you'll be there, and you can use as like your own research library, right? So once you have certain, let's say, all of a sudden I might want to learn about NLP. Then I'll go to my Udemy there. Under my courses, I search for NLP. Then I will have a whole list of NLP. So when I collect the course NLP, I don't have intention to learn NLP at the time. But maybe certain time I need to use. So it becomes like my research library. So I have a very huge library now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Personal library.
Personal library of myself. And I find it's very valuable because imagine how much money that you need to buy 5,700 over courses. Each course will cost at least $10. Right?
Yeah.
and then there are many courses there is $200, $195. That's a lot.
And now you got it for free, and then so they pay for a very low
So,
amount.
I
also.
pay a very low amount, and I keep there, and I can go and review and check, and it's become my personal library.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask you, how many have you registered? You got like 5,000. I was like, what? I was
Yeah.
thinking like maybe around 100, 200. Wow, 500.
Yeah, if you
5,000.
need, that's why if you need any courses, you just tell me, Vanda, do you have such courses?
A screenshot.
Let me see. I have 5,758 courses up to date.
Wow. Okay, that's not 5,000. That's almost 6,000.
Can you download those courses? Or you must sit in front of computer and be easier to
sit
learn?
in front of computer. I think earlier of the days, Udemy allowed people to download. But after some time, I think they put some security. So it's very difficult for you to download.
Yeah.
Because if you allow people to download, there might people doing copyright,
They duplicate it and then
duplicate it and pirate it and
rather
sell
than-
to some other people,
Yeah.
Yeah. So to stop that, I think now is they have kind of security measurement there. Yeah.
Okay, one question. Out of that 5,000, how many have you completed?
Many actually, because I'm a trainer, so I need to do a lot of research and look for ways on, because all these teaching are from different gurus out there.
So you're looking at it from different angles, lah.
I'm looking for different angles, learning from different, and I make friends with the instructors. So I have many friends. It's actually from all over the world. They are Udemy instructors, and the good thing is, once you become their friends, right? When they have new courses, they give you free. So I have a friend, is a very good Udemy instructor. His name is Sorin, and then every time Sorin has a class, has a new course, he will say, Vanda, this is my latest course. Here for you is free coupon, that thing. So that's where I get a lot of free courses as well.
But as a trainer, I understand that you also can upload your courses there, right?
Yes, that's one more of my dream. I need to make a course and put up there as well and monetize.
But is there a certain criteria you have to meet, or anyone can do it?
Anyone can do it as long as you follow their guidelines. As in, you must have a certain. Minimum your course must be 1 hour. I think 30 minutes. Certain time length, and then you must, of course, have very clear audio. Probably, a record.
You have to have a proper setup and all this thing,
and they will review whether your course is legitimate. What are you teaching?
Also, they will review your courses first.
Yes. All these online platform, they will have to go through a quite stringent review process.
Because of their reputation.
No, they allow repetition, but they just afraid that maybe you put in wrong information, or maybe you are teaching something illegal. They have a lot of things. It's better regulations. Yeah.
I mean, let me backtrack a bit, off topic a bit, right? The previous show you were saying about your LinkedIn account got suspended. What happened to it? What happened to it? I'm very curious.
Until today, I'm not very sure on what happened, because I keep asking them. On the 12th December, I remember my LinkedIn account got restricted. They called it restricted. They didn't say suspend. They said was restricted.
Yeah.
And then on 22nd, I got another. After 10 days apart, then I got restricted again, which I didn't really do anything, because for my I didn't really do a drastic action because once the first time I got restricted, I kind of have a bit fear on that. Then I don't really do searching a lot of things, like go and connect with people, simply connect with people. So I kind of get shocked when I have that. But they released within, I think, 48 hours to me, quite fast. Because I'm their customer. I'm not a user, actually. I'm their customer. So I pay them. I'm a premium account. That's the reason why I'm telling them. They should have a better customer support. They said they have to owe me an explanation telling me what's wrong so that I don't repeat the mistake. But they give me a very generic answer. Like, this is their maybe their algorithm fine. It's not them. Maybe they can't find what is the issue as well. And they did a long survey on what I have done. I just informed them. Then that's all. Until today, no news. No news on exact what happened.
But you got back your account already?
I got back my account. So for me, it's like, okay, I better be the customer rather than be the user. Because if you have become the user, then you do not have the sense of security at all on LinkedIn. That is my feeling. If you are the customer, at least you are a paying customer. You have the rights. I'm paying you.
You can demand for certain things.
I can demand for certain things, right? So it kind of will leave you in a dilemma because now I'm using LinkedIn as my business tool. And I have already close to 12,000 connections. I can't afford not to pay them, right, with such a big connection. So when you are thinking of using this type of online networking for your business, you have to think twice that account is actually not belong to you, not your own platform, right?
But also, to come back to what
learning.
Learning. LinkedIn also, you use LinkedIn as a learning platform also.
That's why I subscribe to their premium account. One of very good LinkedIn giving is they have a LinkedIn learning platform, which they have a collaboration with Lynda. Okay, so there is a platform called Lynda, lynda.com. This is a famous learning platform, and if you go to lynda.com, I think you need to pay about $29 to subscribe to it to access all the courses. But if you subscribe to LinkedIn Premium, you can use that course. It's come together with the premium account.
With the premium account.
And the good thing about lynda.com learning or LinkedIn learning is they are even more structured than Udemy. They are looking more professional. They actually can, let's say you have an idea that I want to be a digital marketer, a career path, and you just select that digital marketers, and they will give you all the courses that you need to take, lying down for you from beginners to advanced, step by step, what you need to go through. And I think they are very stringent as well in selecting their courses. Who the one can teach, whose course is that. It's unlike Udemy or Skillshare. Anyone can submit their course there. For Lynda, I think they're really looking for really expert, the industry known expert to teach you. And they have transcribed for you as well. If you sometimes maybe you when you listen, you maybe it's not so good and maybe you're not understand. You can actually look at the transcript of all the video they have.
All right. So the thing is, we will learn more about this in the next show. We're going to move on to the next segment in a short while where Catherine will share with us a little bit about presentation. But again, for today, what we learn about today in terms of online learning is that there are a lot of platforms out there that we can actually learn. And it can actually be beneficial also. You just pay a small amount of money and you can get a lot of knowledge itself. A lot of knowledge
out there.
So in our next show, on Vanda segment, in terms of social media and also online learning, she's going to be sharing with us a lot more in the next show. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next segment. Before that, we're going to be taking a break, and coming back, we will have Catherine with presentation.
You're now listening to DurianAsean, the voice of discovery and sharing.
Welcome back to Inspired on DurianAsean with me, Jun Sern. Of course, now we look into presentation or the art of presentation with Catherine. What will you be sharing with us today again, Catherine?
Today, I would like to share with all the audience how to build a good structure of a presentation.
Good structure.
Yes.
So, What kind of things do we have to look out for in terms of structure?
If we are planning the structure of our presentation, we should look for 3 elements. They are warm-up, key message, and the reward at the end of your presentation. Good structure is very important for any presentation because the purpose of our presentation is to get our message across to our audience.
That's the key, the most important one. Because the thing is, my own experience last time, there are a lot of good presenters out there. But, I mean, a lot of good speakers, not presenters, good speakers out there. But end of the day, their content is not carried across. No one gets it. Then last time I was wondering why. What did they did wrong?
That's right. That's right.
Structure.
I actually had a lot of failure experience. So later when I look back all this failure experience I have, I realized that I didn't pay attention to one thing, which is listening is different from reading. When we are reading books, if we have any parts we don't understand, we can stop for a while. And we can go for a break. And after a break, we can come again to continue read that part. Or we can read that part again and again until we digest the message of the author. Or sometimes if we are busy, we have something to do, we can like go for a break and after that we continue to read. However, when people are listening to presenters, it's seldom that they can stop the presenter anytime if they don't understand the message. Or neither they can play fast forward. If they don't like that part, or they cannot play rewind if they hate the message. So that's the difference between reading and listening. So that's why if presenter can have a good structure of the presentation, he will save a lot of time and effort for his audience to understand his message quickly.
And also, it will, I mean, from my experience is that it will help the presenters as well.
Yes.
So at least your mind is structured.
Yeah.
So you don't be all over the place and suddenly you miss out like A, B, and C. And you go A, then you go to C, then you go, I forgot to talk about B. Then you go back to B. Then it becomes very messy.
That's right, that's right. A good structure can actually also help the presenter to remember what he wants to deliver. Sometimes if the structure is not clear, the audience will be confused. So when the presenter look at all those confused faces, he will be confused at the end. So he eventually forgot his message.
Yeah. Talking about structures, Catherine, I want to ask you because talking about presentation, I have a friend. He actually advised me like, okay, before you do any presentation, because what people's behavior is, they like to show the agenda first. Okay, class, today I'm going to, present to you, or this meeting we are going to talk on this on a on the agenda list, right? My friend was telling me like, you shouldn't show the agenda. Is a better practice because once you show the agenda, the mystery is not there. I mean, like the curiosity is not there. So people is kind of expected. What are you going to say? So you might not have the power to hook them. So what is your point of view on this?
Okay, I think this person is talking from the perspective that you should not reveal too much details at the beginning of your speech. So you have no suspense to your audience. But I think he was not trying to say that you should not tell your audience what are you going to talk about. If you even don't tell your audience what am I going to talk about to you, so why the audience is spending time with you? For what? Yeah, so that is what we need to do as a presenter. We need to complete this warm-up session before we formally start our key message. So in the warm-up session, we should tell our audience that what are we going to talk about and how this information can benefit you and why am I the right person to give this message to you. Show the right you can speak to them. Yeah, but yes, that person is right. Do not reveal too much details. They will lose interest. The much details should be in your case study, in your stories later, in your key message part.
It's like watching a movie. Like, you don't have like, in the movie, you already know what's going to happen at the end. You go, I don't watch it.
Yes, that's right, that's right. So many people actually, they describe listening to a good presentation is like watching a good movie with eye-catching opening. And the body part of this movie is full of surprise and suspense. So just now, I think you are touching that part. So the body part should be full of surprise and suspense. But I'm not going to tell you what is my suspense. I want to hold your attention until we also climb to the climax.
To tease
Yeah.
the audience.
Yeah, and most of the movie will have a happy ending. So that is why we need to give a reward at the end of our presentation. So people feel satisfied. They feel they can take something back after listening to you.
So, I mean, what are the elements in terms of how do you build a structure?
The good structure should have a warm-up and the key message and also a reward. Many years ago, when I just started to give presentation to my audience, I had a wrong illusion. I thought my audience were ready to listen to me, and I can just straightforward go to my key message. But I was wrong at that time. My experience told me many of the times when I started my presentation, actually my audience were playing their Facebook, they were playing their phone, and they were chatting with their friends, and some of them were having daydreaming. So I need to do something that catch their attention and pull them back to my presentation, let them mentally prepare for my key message. And I want to mention one great speaker. He is the ex-president of the U.S., Obama. Obama is a great speaker, and he is very experienced in warming up his audience, no matter his audience is kids or it's adults. There was once Obama was invited to give a new semester speech, a back to school speech to senior high school students. So actually, it's challenging for American president to build up rapport with high school students because the difference is huge. However, Obama did that very well. So when he started his presentation, how did he warm up his students is like this. He said, I know today is the first day of the new semester, so I know it's natural if you're a little bit nervous. And I also know many of you hope now you're still in school holidays because I know you don't want to get up earlier. So when the high school students heard this part, they all laughed. So their nervous is released. And Obama continued to warm up his students. He said, actually, when I was young, when I was living in Indonesia, I was just like any one of you. My family was too poor to support me to school. So every morning, my mother will wake me up at 4:30. And of course, as a young child, he didn't want to wake up so early. So he often fall asleep on the table. So them students continue to laugh. They will say, oh, the president is just like any one of us. He also has challenges to get up so earlier. So them from there, Obama started to lead his topic into his key message. The key message to the students is that even you have the best school, you have the best parents, you have best teachers, it's your responsibility to complete the education seriously. So it's your responsibility to make your future. So that's how Obama, as a great speaker, he successfully overcome the warm-up section and he lead people mentally ready to his key message.
But when we talk about warming up to your audience or the people that you're speaking to, do you have to do a research on them beforehand, or at least know who they are, their interests or the common interests?
Yes, that's right. We must do background checking of the audience. If we are going to have a presentation, we will know where are they coming from and what is the age and what is the professional background or working background. That is a very basic information I think we can obtain. If without knowing this information, we don't know how to warm them up because we don't know what are the common things we can tackle. We can play around and we can reduce the distance between audience and us.
But do you speak, for example, if just someone asks you to go for a function, do you actually talk to the organizer first? Or say, for example, if you Obama is going to a school, does he talk to his team talk to the people from the school to get more information? Do you do that?
Yes, that's necessary. So we need to ask the organizer, why are those people coming during this time and what is your message to the audience? Do they have certain expectation? So from there we can know whether we can address their expectation or not, whether we can give what they want or not. And the age I think is very important, gender is very important, professional background and educational background, all these basic information are important to a presenter.
So what are the steps to do when you want to warm up? Is there any things you have to prep up before you do any warm up?
Okay. it reminds me when we are having some tour experience. When those visitors they get on the tourist coach, they don't straightforward go to the destination. The tour guide will always give them some games, sing songs together to build up the rapport. So one method I think is very good is to let people do some exercises together or play some jokes or ask them, greet them, how are you? Like many trainers would like to use this kind of technique. They will ask the people, how are you today? Many audience will answer fine. So some speakers will play the joke with the audience, fine. But I think you're Malaysia, you're not Singaporean. So if you're in Singapore, I can understand why your answer is fine. Because Singaporeans will be easily fined for anything they do. But come on, Malaysia, give a different answer to us. Yeah, so this is like warm up. Let people do something so they can be prepared to focus on your training or to focus on your presentation.
So there's using a bit of humor or
use a bit of humor like games, or just simple grade can also pull people's attention to you.
So I mean, in terms of warm up, how do you summarize it in terms of that?
I think warm up is very necessary because without warm up, you don't have the connection with people. Without the rapport and the connection, people will feel resistant to listen to you. Because if you want your audience to receive your message, they must believe in you. They must have trust on you. So you must break the ice and do the warm up and gain their trust. So later they will receive your message effectively.
So what is it? The second element just now you were saying key message, right?
Yeah, key message. Yeah. So key message I think is the blood of any presentation, and every presentation should only has one key message.
One.
Yeah,
Okay.
only have one key message.
Okay.
Is that too later? The reason is not because the speaker is incompetent. Actually, the reason that any presentation should not have more than one message is because the audience memory is limited. If you give them many messages, they cannot remember and you will confuse them. I had a presentation before. The presentation was about better techniques for time management. So in that presentation, actually I have a lot of key message for my audience, but I know I cannot give so many. I can only focus one, that is time management, focus on your life direction, not the routine of your life. So by focusing on that key message, I will have a lot of story, case study, pictures and jokes. But all those materials are related to my key message.
All right, we're going to be taking a short break, and when we come back, we're going to learn more about presentation structure right here on Inspired at DurianAsean.
You're now listening to DurianAsean, the voice of discovery and sharing.
Welcome back to Inspired right here on DurianAsean. Right before the break, we were talking about presentation structure. First, we talk about how do you warm up with people. And right before the break, we talk about key messages. Keep it to one.
Yes.
Keep it to one. So, what's next?
Okay, I also want to share with audience my failure experience. Why I think that having one message is enough for a presentation. Once I was invited to give university students a talk about how do you prepare your first 3 years in your career. Because my audience was at their last year, final year, so I assume that they already have some basic idea how is corporate life like. So during that presentation, actually I gave them a lot of messages because I think I have a lot of to share. However, at the end of the presentation, I realized that many of them didn't follow me. So that's why I sent my PowerPoint slide to them. But to my surprise, when they received my PowerPoint slide, the feedback they gave to me is that your PowerPoint slide makes more sense than your speaking. So from there, I realized that, if I'm going to write an article, I can give a lot of key messages. But if I'm going to speak to people, then I should only have one message, one clear message with some practical steps or action plans. Yeah, so that's how I learned.
But, I mean, the key message, sometimes it may be a little bit more complicated.
Yes.
Or a little bit more complex. How do we convey that in just one message?
Okay, I think this is a good question. Sometimes our key message is a little bit long, little bit complicated. What we can do is we break this key message into 3 subparts, but not more than 3. As I mentioned earlier, people's memory is limited, so it's better to give less rather than more. And I have very simple way to share with our audience how to find out your key message. If you are preparing a presentation, you write down all the key message you want to give to your audience. After that, you delete half of them. So after that, you delete another half of them until you find a message that you really, really don't want to let it go. That is a true message you want to give to your audience. That is very simple technique, but it works.
And what other things in terms like your experience? I mean, how do you cut it down in terms of if you say like now I have 3 and I have 4, for example, and these 4 I really don't want to cut it down. How do you still go with it, or you really have to let go of one? How do you decide?
Okay, if I really have more than 3 sub-points, actually I will make a script. After my speaking, I will give the script to the audience so that they can still review again. Oh, there are so many points I need to remember. But in my presentation, I will just focus maybe on 3 points, on 2 points.
But how do you determine your key message? I mean, when you plan, is there any planning before that?
Yes. Before we start our presentation, we must have a key message in mind. What is the purpose? Am I going to do this presentation? Am I doing this for fun, or I want to have some value to my audience? So think about this question and jot down all the key message we have on a list. And after that, we remove half and continue to remove another half until we find a message we really, really want to let our audience know. So by doing that, we can find our key message very easily.
And what is the last element now? Now let's move on to the last element.
Okay.
The third one, I would say the last one. There's all elements. The third element.
The third element is a reward. It's like when we are going to finish our meal, we always want to have some dessert. It could be ice cream, it could be some fruits to like complete the whole dining section and make ourselves feel rewarded and satisfied with the whole dining section. So normally that reward is an aha moment or wow factor at the end of your presentation that you should design carefully. But reward or dessert or of the presentation should not give new message to our audience. It should bring out the audience emotion, or it should enlighten our audience.
Like, I mean, is there any examples? Like how?
Okay. For example, I just listened to a great speaker's presentation, and the key message of that great speaker's presentation was we must become successful so that we can help more people. So at the end of his presentation, he used a true story between a father and his 2 children. So what happened to the father was playing with his 2 children in a forest park. And suddenly the father realized it was 7 p.m. in the evening, and he felt it's not very safe for him to stay in the forest park with his 2 young children, very, very young. So he decided to bring them out of this forest park. However, these 2 children were very young, so if he brings them to walk back to the entrance of that forest park, it will take him 1 hour. So he decided to take a shortcut. However, if he want to take the shortcut, he need to climb over the wall. And his 2 children also need to climb over a high wall. So what he did at the beginning was he was trying to push up his 2 children. But he tried again and again, and he failed again and again. So his 2 children started to cry, and the 3 of them started to become panic because the night is becoming dark and dark. So suddenly he changed his mind. He decided to climb over the wall first, and he was waiting on the top of the wall, and he gave his hands to his 2 children. He said, "Don't worry, Daddy is here. Just hold my hands. I will pull you up to the wall." So by doing that, he successfully pulled 2 of his children up to the wall, and they get out of this forest park very fast. So when this father recall this experience, the father realized that, if in my life I want to help people, I must stand a higher point so that I can help those people who are weaker than me. But if I stand a lower point of my life, how am I going to help people who need my help? So it related to the key message. If you want to be stronger, you want to be successful. If you want to be successful, you must become stronger first. Then you can help other people. Yeah, so this is a reward. When audience heard this, they will have aha moment, or they will have a wow factor, or it's like this.
Immediately they get connected
Yes.
straight with the key messages.
Yes, and they are satisfied. I learned something new. I can bring this message back. Yeah.
Well, it does actually relate with all three, right? So, like for example, like just now you were saying that you want to determine what is this aha moment. You have to
Yeah.
understand the crowd also.
Yes,
How the message can actually connect with them.
Yes.
Catherine, my question to you is, for this structure, is it varies in the sense of the length of your presentation? Is it meant for a 2 hours talk, or it can be applicable also to a 1 whole day class? You know, how you using this structure?
Thank you for your question, Vanda. This kind of structure is applied to any presentation. Even it is applied to informal conversation like business negotiation or like daily conversation. If a doctor wants to tell something to a patient, it is applied. Because every time when you want to tell something important to your audience, no matter it's one person or group of them, you need to have the rapport. Yeah. After that, you have something to tell this person. That's why you are staying together with him for this 5 minutes or for this 1 day. So after all your talking, all your key message, you need to let this person feel touched, because you want to motivate him, or you want to persuade him, you want to inspire him. You want he to be your friend. So that's why you need to give him a reward. Yeah. So for your training, I think you can like summarize your training and also give a great story at the end. So that's why they don't feel their time is wasted in this 1 day or in this 30 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, we benefit a lot from
Yes,
this.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, to continue what Wanda asked, right? I mean, related with time. I mean, if you plan for your presentation structure, what is the good time for effective presentation?
Okay.
The length.
The presentation's length can be vary from 15 minutes until 1 day workshop. However, every 15 minutes, people will tend to sleep. So in every 15 minutes time, you should only give one message. Let's say if your presentation is 1 hour long, you should break this 1 hour into 4 sessions of 15 minutes. Yeah.
So, I mean, why is that so? Why 15 minutes?
15 minutes is something that psychologists find out people's habit. The rule of people's habit. People's habit normally become very faster before they listen to the presentation. But when they start to listen the presenter, their mind will feel very comfortable and peaceful, sometimes too comfortable that they will fall into sleep, and their habit will become slower and slower. Yeah.
So have you any experienced people falling asleep during your presentation?
Yes. Actually, I come across some very boring speech or presentation. I tend to fall asleep. I also relate this to my experience. I also had the experience of watching a very bad movie. The bad movie is about 1.5 hours, but I can still sit in the cinema to complete that movie. But when I was listening to a bad presentation, I feel very suffering. I really want to go.
Because you can't move, and then you're sitting there, and the fellow will be looking at you. Movie, no one's looking at you, so you can always leave anytime you want. Correct?
Yeah.
I mean, I actually have the similar experience also in terms of presentation, especially when you attend a training that they have no structure. The presenter didn't warm up to anyone. He just came in, just he started talking, and sometimes you don't even know what he's talking about, because you know that this person, he came in unprepared. I have a very I'm very particular in terms of presentation myself also, and I realize that sometimes I get really, really annoyed. My annoyance level is higher than a lot of other people, because I myself is a presenter, and I realize the importance, the core of a presenter. Like you say, structure is very important. You need to warm up with your crowd, and this guy didn't do any one of them, and he came in, he just started talking, and after 20 minutes I was like,
Like he has no engagement.
Hold on, JunSern. Hold on.
Be patient. Let him finish.
And the worst part, I mean, if he have a very good aha moment at the end, I said, okay, it's worth it. I spend my half an hour or 1 hour here is worth it. But when you reach to the end, he's like, okay, that's all. Where's the aha? No aha. And I was like thinking, I just wasted 1 hour of my life
Yeah.
listening to something that I don't know what's going on also. Sometimes it's so messy. So I really have to agree with you. You know, in terms of structure, it's very, very important. You need to be able to communicate and connect with your audience. If not, then the purpose of the whole presentation is not there anymore. Because
Yeah.
the message won't get across, and you don't even know, like you said, too many key messages and too many, what I call, details that people get confused.
Yes.
It's like, so today are we talking about A, B, C, D, or the whole range of alphabets?
Yeah, I think if you go to Udemy, like I say, the online learning platform, because there are so many people uploading their course there, you tend to see a lot of bad presenters there, and they get a very bad reviews. And I find these people, they are just filling out the course because they want to make people think the course is valuable because of the length of time. So they keep repeating and no concrete like aha moment or there's nothing. I mean, they just keep repeating the same thing so that the course look very long, so that you tend to think that it's worth for your $10 US. So there's a lot there on Udemy. So you need to choose with wise as well when you select the course.
All right. Well, it looks like we have come to the end of today's episode of Inspired. I know we learned a lot today. We learned about how can you do e-learning or online learning. No more e already. E is a very old term, right? Online learning, where Vanda shared with us. Of course, our next show, Vanda will go more in depth into what are the sites that you can actually go to and what they offer. And also as well as Catherine, where she shared with us what is the important aspects when you want to do a presentation. You need to have a good structure. And in terms of good structure, you need to have a good warm-up. Then you need to have one key message, not two.
Yes,
one
right.
key message. And the last one is
Reward.
reward. So your reward today, you already got it already. This is your aha moment. All right. So do stay tuned with us. If you have any questions, you can always log on to go on to our Facebook page on DurianAsean, and we will try to answer it on the next show. So do stay tuned with us as we will bring you more interesting topics on the next episode of Inspired. And I'm Jun Sern.
I'm Vanda.
I'm Catherine.
We see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're now listening to DurianAsean, the voice of discovery and sharing.